Alright, so observation is important here, and so what I'm going to do is take a look from the top view here at my iPhone layout. There we go. And I can tell from here that probably if I go to the create menu, starting out with a box is probably going to be the best option here. And so I'm just going to do that actually. Just start out like this. Drag up like this. Go back to, there we go. Go back to perspective view. You can see it's pretty darn thick. So if I go to my perspective right view, hit the R key for scale. You can see how big I need to make this thing. Now, one thing you'll notice about the iPhone is that it's got these little bevels in here, and so this is actually going to be the right side. I'm going to do this as two pieces because this is actually going to have two different materials on it. So this will be the middle metal piece, all right? And that looks like it's pretty well lined up. And now we just need to do a little modifying to it. And then we'll add other parts as we progress. Okay, so I'm going to right click and convert to editable poly. Now this gives me access to all of these wonderful components in here to edit. And I'm going to start with realistic. We're going to add edged faces. Alright, so edged face here, there's one command that we haven't used yet called chamfer. You may have used it, but I haven't shown it yet. And what I can do is set the amount of the chamfer. Okay, and now let's zoom in on this. And let's actually go to the top view so we can see exactly how much to do this. I can set the amount of the chamfer down to here. And then I can set the amount of segments to round it out. I'm actually going to go pretty high on this. Go to 24 segments and I hit the check mark. Okay, go back to perspective. Now this makes a nice smooth edge. And the nice thing about it is if I go here and select these other edges, holding down the control key to select multiple components. Oh, I went right past it. There we go. Next time I bring up the chamfer settings box, it's going to keep my last setting. So I'm going to hit the check mark, go to the top view, and look at how well that rounded everything out. That's pretty darn good. I mean, that's pretty unbeatable. So it's a nice quick way to do a model. And the nice thing about this now is that I can take this core piece, right, and I can create Control V. I can create a copy of it. All right, now the copy, I'm going to go to my front view and zoom in on it. Actually, I'm going to go to my right view. My mistake here. Go to my right view, and I want to view just how much. I'm going to set this relatively on top here. What I want to do is kind of measure in with my scale tool all axes here until we get to there. That's where I want that to be. And I'll scale down until I start to see. There we go. So there's the face of it right there. Okay, now I'm going to hit perspective P, and then zoom out. Zoom in again here. Just sink that below just a little bit. Okay, now Control V will also give me another copy of it. Go back to my front view. Sorry, I keep wanting to go to the front view. I'm going to go to my right view. And I'm going to scale down on this thing right like that. Sorry, translate down, not scale. Go back to perspective, hit the Z. And what I've got now is a compound object. It's not all one. I don't want it to be all one because it's going to have different stuff. Look at these boxes. I'm going to cut them and paste them into my default layer. Okay, so once I have this all done, I'm going to do a real quick material selection on these guys. Alright. Alright, so real quickly, now what I have is three pieces that can be all grouped together. And I'll go to group, and we'll call it just the iPhone group. And there you go. So now with some very simple modeling techniques, I've created something that looks a lot like an iPhone.